Hi everybody, welcome back. So I thought I would show you how a little trick that I learnt when I was at school actually in art, but it's a good way to create like 3D circles and things to be able to use in this Neuro Art. So I'm trying to make it look like that the ball is coming off of the paper, and that gives it a really good you know, a really good effect for your work. So first of all, I'm just taking this lid just to draw around it, and I'm going to put it about there, I'd say, and I'm going to draw around the centre of it just like that. There's a little mark on my paper that's bugging me. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, and then I'm going to draw with just a set square really, about that much, one on each side, like so. And then I'm going to draw the angle coming out like this. Okay, and so that's what we have there. So I'm going to just go over that with a pen now so that you can see it. I'm going to use a permanent marker, so I'm just going to go round the ball. Obviously you can do a much nicer job than what I'm doing here. Let me just use this. And then across on the other side. I recommend using one of these, I think they're called set squares, if you can get hold of one, because they're so good for buildings, for the roofs and things, for moving them around at different angles. You've got the smaller triangle in the middle and the ones on the outside and things, so it's really good. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that to one side now. And then on this sheet of paper here, which is going to be the sheet that I'm going to be using, I'm just going to use charcoal. This is willow charcoal today, just for quickness. I've got a pack of baby wipes on hand, but just for quickness, so that I can show you what I'm doing, I'm just filling this in. You could use whatever you want, you know, but I love charcoal anyway, so it's just an excuse for me to get my hands dirty again, and I love that. This paper's a bit grainy, but that's quite nice too. It adds a bit of an effect to it. And then, so it's giving me a nice surface to work on there, like that. And now on top of that, I like to give it a bit of a Rembrandt feel, so dark against light. So I want a darker tone here on the back, and I'm going to mix that in well there. So you can see it's just a little bit darker, not over the top darker, and blend that in, giving some nice marks on here. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean my hands. Okay, so nice clean hands now. Make sure you get it off from underneath there, because that's where we smudge it. Okay, I'm just going to pop that to one side. With that baby wipe I've just used, I'm just going to wipe the surface as well. This board that I use, the table that I use, it's just a table covered in plastic. Bob Burridge gave me the idea, because your paints that you use and everything, you can, if you're using acrylic paints, you can mix them on the table, and then you can just peel them off with your nail, and you can actually use the skins to reapply into paintings and into work. Yeah. Okay, so coming back with this one now, I'm going to cut this bit out. So I'm just going to cut along here and along here. And then I'm going to go round. Sorry if you can't see this bit very well. Just taking my time because it's important to make sure that your circle is like really round. There. I'm going to move those out of the way. So I'm just left with this. So now we're just with an ordinary pencil. I'm just going to do some nice shading on top. Now if you think about a circle, if it was sat on the table, this is the table. If it was sat on the table, I want my darker side to be coming round this way. So with nice circular movements, I'm just going to shade this side. And then I'm going to smudge it with my finger. If you want to be an expert, you can, you know, you can smudge it with a pencil stubbler. Yeah. So I'm going to take this right round the edge now. Just lightly. And I'm just going to go round with that now. Being careful not to go near the middle. And you see, so now I want this to be darker down here. And you see that? That's darker down there now. And then I want it really dark down here. And already you can see that this circle is starting to stand out. Pull that, make that so it's not so harsh. Make more shading over here. A bit darker down here. Again, taking it round. Okay, and that's all that you need to do that. Nothing spectacular. Okay, so then all I'm going to do is to glue the back of this, and I'm going to now put that on top of there, and I'm going to put that on top of there, and I'm going to glue it. I'll do that next. So I'm using tacky glue because it's good strong glue, and I like it. You could use PVA glue, whatever that you want. You want something that's going to withstand, you know, quite a lot of battering. If you put it in a book, you know, you don't want the pages to be peeling back. You want it to look as one picture. So I think that it is important that, you know, that you do this. Okay, lid back on, very, very important. Don't want to waste the glue. Okay, and smudge out any big splodges. Don't matter if you get a bit. You can use brushes, you can use whatever you want. I just like to use my fingers and everything. I like to get right in there. There's no, you know, this is art, you know. So I'm just getting the baby white now. Just going to wipe that glue off my finger. There. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over. So the darker bit that I had, that I put in, I want that at the top left hand corner, and then down here I'm going to match this up perfectly here. Okay, and I'm going to push my circle down all the way around, so it's nice and comfortable. Any extra marks that's on there, you can always they'll just rub off with a pen, you know, with a rubber. You make all sorts of marks with charcoal and crayons and you know, and with all sorts of things. So if you happen to touch that charcoal there, my goodness, you'll know about it. So what I'm going to do now with some fixative spray, I've got this Winsor & Newton one here. It's just called Fixative. I've had this about 2 years now. Give it a good shake. Make sure your room's well ventilated. And then I'm going to cover the ball up for definite. And then perhaps cover up these sides here. Because I don't really want it to go onto that paper there. I just want to spray this and fix this. Make sure your window's open. That's it. Okay, and then I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so coming back down to my picture now. So obviously, if a ball was up in the air like at the top of a table there, it's going to have a shadow down here. So I'm going to do, just with the flat of my pencil, quite nice and strong though, so that you can see it. And then again, I'm going to smudge this and make it really comfortable. The top layer then needs to be more circular, so you can't see any of the lines that you've done underneath. And there you have the circle on underneath. So now you're looking that you have a circle that's hovering over the top of your paper. So that is your basic thing now that you can work on. So from there now, you can either leave that and frame that as it is, or you could add more dark to it and things like that. You can have different areas. You could make this all a really fancy table if you wanted. But I don't want to do that. I just want to do some neuro art. So I'm going to try doing it from the top of here, coming down. And then from here, I'm going to go at the back of the circle. Remember, when you're doing your neuro lines, to not make them all the same. And then I think this one will have going across the centre, like so. Maybe another line coming from there will look nice. If you want to use something to push along to create your neuro lines, you can use maybe a coin. We'll try today. Got a little 5p coin. I'm going to turn this round and take it across. See where it wants to go. This guarantees that I'm not going to make the same shape. Maybe it'd be nice to have one coming across here. If I can get over the lip. Here we go. That's beautiful. Okay, so the next stage is to do the connections. So I'll start the connections now. So rounding off wherever the lines cross, I'm going to round them off. This is going to take me a while, so I'll do it for a little while. Excuse Topaz in the background. He's got his talkative mood on today. So anyway, wherever there's a connection, a crossover, I want to make a connection there. A little bit complicated there. It's okay. So we don't want any sharp corners. So you're taking a symmetrical shape and basically you're adding some organic marks over the top. And this is what gives it great differences. Great differences. I'm going to bring that up to there too. And it will add some nice effects on top of here. You must have a go at doing this. This is great fun. It's such an easy technique to float a ball up over the paper. It's kind of like cheating because you're cutting out your paper and it's giving you, it's an optical illusion that the ball is floating over the top of the paper. You can do this very simply. I can show you in a second, in a different way where you can do it yourself without having to cut it out. But if you struggle with shading and things, I thought I would show it. That would be a nicer way to do it. So okay, so I'm just going to speed this up a little bit now. So that's it. I filled in all the neuro connections and connected them and done all the rounding, and I did do that all in one go, so it was nice and relaxing. I put on some relaxing music and I just sat and I enjoyed that. This mark that's underneath, this shadow with the side of my brush now, I just want to make that a little bit more prominent so it can be seen a bit more. And I'm going to wet it a little bit there while it's still wet. Okay, so then you can see that that is definitely a shadow. I also want to go around the bottom of here a little bit. I'm going to turn it round as I do it. I find that if you turn a circle round as you're doing it, you'll find that you can join the line a lot easier. There. So this line, I've made it go, it look as though it's going round and across in front. This line looks like it's going round and going behind. So that one's going behind, look, and then coming out here. And you just have to use your initiative to see which way that you want the lines to go. It's looking a bit plain over this side, so I'm going to bring this line here through. And off the edge there. You make more lines, that's fine. You do what you feel feels nice to you. But just if you make more lines, you need to make more connections. You have to do more rounding, of course. All the round has to be complete. And there we have it. So I'm just going to put in now a little bit more shading on this ball. I might come in with a little bit of charcoal on this side now, give that a bit of a, to give it a little bit more, make it a little bit more darker. Gives it that little bit more of an effect. Going up this side a bit, I think. Each one of these that you do will be different. And so, yeah, enjoy it. Wipe your hands. So the last one that I did in my book, oh, excuse me. Oh, I also just want to put on a few splatters as well, because I always like to have a few splatters. And I love the orange. So this is just a Sharpie pen. And then if you just waggle it like this, it gives off some lovely splatters. And, anywhere that's a bit plain that you fancy putting them, you can do. So, yes. That's enough. I don't want to go over the top with the splatters. Okay, so you'll be able to see that. So I'm going to pop this on the side of the book. So here was the one that I did earlier. So it depending on what angle that you do your table, you can make these look really nice. And here's the one I've just done. Obviously you can use lots of different variations of it, lots of different colours and things, and you can cut them off and cut them out and stick them in your books. You can do whatever you want with them, but it's a really lovely way of doing neuro art. Another lovely neuro art idea. The flowers that's going out at the top, it feels lovely. And I also like this one where it wraps more around it, and you know, you can really just scribble over it and get your emotions out there, and then sit down calmly with some music and do your connections and your rounding. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me just see if I can get a frame to show you what it looks like. Here's a little frame. Obviously you could do with the square frame to have a bit of a feeling. If I put this on like this, look, it gives it that lovely sense of, you can feel the picture. You can feel that is coming off of it's coming off of the table. The ball is coming off of the table, and you can have it at whatever angle that you want. You could use whatever bit you want in. It's still always going to look 3D-ish if you put it to one side and show that part of the table. If you do it on that side, or if you do it in the middle, or if you just don't have it at all, you could just put a frame round it, a different kind of frame round it, one that's, you know, frame it behind a picture. Same as this one. This is the one we've just done. Nice to have some of the, if that wasn't there, look, nice to have some of the tables showing. So can you see? It's very effective. And yes, I'll be able to stick that in the book, and that will be 2 different ones. So I'll show you some pictures close up. So here we are close up. And one on the left is the one that we've just done together, and that was one that I did when I was on my own. So I love how the orange sets it off as well, because it almost looks like that they splattering up from it as it's bounced off the table. So very effective. Yeah, you can see that the grained paper from this paper to this paper is completely different. This paper's mixed media. This paper was watercolour. Not impressed with the watercolour, to be honest. But you can see that you could do your table at any angles that you wanted. That they're a little bit wider. Look, that one's a bit narrower. Doesn't really matter, but it shows that the ball is up in the air and it's entangled in the Neuro Art. What a lovely effect. Have a go. Have fun. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.